What is going on YouTube? Hitting back making another brand new crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, as well as the S&P 500. As you guys know, we do a different cryptocurrency here on the channel every single week with your guys' help. So definitely make sure to comment your favorite altcoin or cryptocurrency down in the comment section below so I can pick one and review it in next week's videos. More importantly, what we're going to be looking at in today's episode is the major cryptocurrencies that are still in consolidation standpoint. As we know, not really many big trades we've been able to make over the past couple of days, if not week or two, due to the fact that the markets have pretty much just been stagnant and trading sideways. But as we know with cryptocurrency, it is definitely not a race, it is more of a marathon. So we are going to be seeing those big leaps and bounds coming very soon on the market as resistances and supports start to align themselves, and the markets do have to make a decision very soon as to which direction they want to move to. Otherwise, today's video is sponsored by the GMT token, or the Go Mining token, which is a little bit different than cloud mining as some might think, and I do want to get in depth with that and talk just a little bit more about this company at the end of today's video. So if you're interested about learning more, definitely stick around to the end of today's episode where we'll be talking and going over this new crypto project that's actually been around for a little bit longer than I had thought. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's jump into today's episode. Well, it's another day and another market that is down 2.5%. As you guys can see, 2.7% now. Top 10 cryptocurrencies are all still back down, retracing and correcting lower. This reminds me back in 2018, 2017, as you guys can see here on Bitcoin, you know, when markets, for the most part, after its major correction back in early 2017, we can see right here, we've pretty much just had consolidation ever since. We saw the big correction all the way back down into 2018, and then just consolidation for all of 2018 into majority of 2019, and then eventually, I mean, it was actually a long time of just consolidation before we saw any sort of major swing to the upside. If we pretty much take from the bottom, I mean, this was the bottom here ultimately. We had consolidation of about a little over a year and a half of consolidation before we saw a major correction to the upside. And I know a lot of people really don't want to expect that or anticipate that, but that is still a big possibility. I'd like to think that now that there are a lot more people invested into cryptocurrency, the major correction or major dip to the downside isn't going to be as brutal, or sorry, not necessarily as brutal, but as long and extended as it has been in the past. For the past couple of years, you know, over a year and a half, we've saw the major consolidation. We saw the slow and steady bear market that eventually got traction and corrected back up. My thought to it now is that there's a lot more people invested into cryptocurrency. There's a lot more ease of access into the platform, and people understand that it's no bubble, as it's been here to stay, and it came back again multiple times, showing us that this is a possible way of investing and making money. So with that being said, I do believe that we are in a bear market, and I do believe that we are correcting lower, but I don't think we are out of the woods just yet, and I do believe that we are going to see this correction happen a lot quicker than we have in the past. Usually when things tend to break, when there's not much traction or popularity behind it, they pretty much stagnate out. But given the circumstances, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency does appear to be coming back. So there's a few interesting things that we can obviously go over. When you look at the charts like this, you can clearly see that with the big correction that we had, prices are getting locked up right at around $30,000. It'd be nice to say that this might be the bottom, and eventually maybe we trade outside of the downtrend here and we start to pump back up to 50K. That'd be amazing. We'd love to see it. But there's also a big part of me that, as I've been saying on the channel here, that believes that this bottom support that we're constantly retesting is at some way or another forming some sort of descending fractal like we've drawn out here, and is going to break through that $30,000 support, pulling us down to a 20,000, 10,000, 6,000, who knows? There is still these major possibilities. When you extend our reach over, you can see kind of what we're referring to as prices have started here and are starting to eventually consolidate up. Prices are eventually going to form some sort of uptrend here, and we are just looking for a bottom that ultimately will allow us to continue to punch higher. So who knows how low this coin is going to be moving to. Do I believe it's over just yet in the past couple of weeks? I am not entirely sure, but given the date range, it's been honestly not that long. It's only been about 90 days. So about 3 months now, we've pretty much entered this bear market where prices are correcting lower. And we're ultimately focused now on what's happening in, today's market, or maybe the past couple of weeks, not necessarily 3 months of movement, but we're looking at this. This is really my main focus, is this descending fractal right here where prices are correcting lower. That's my main focus on these cryptocurrencies, and in the fact that we are coming very close to retesting our $30,000 support level. Looking at the other cryptocurrencies, you guys can clearly see XRP is also forming a very similar pattern. Now, it's much lower than, say, Bitcoin was in regards to maybe its weekly charts, which you can see is ultimately down here retesting its support. This is a good sign in the fact that we might be able to just use this and eventually break bullish and break free of this major correction and bear market that we're seeing. But if Bitcoin does decide to pull lower, we'll ultimately see XRP do the same thing. But right now it is holding support at its 56-cent support level as well as its moving averages. So we'll see how exactly this wants to trade out. That's why I'm more focused on Bitcoin for kind of clearing the path and leading the way as to what we could be seeing in the near future very soon. But ultimately, short term for the next trade, which is what I'm waiting to set up, is these support levels do have to be retested for us to pretty much guarantee the next movement. It's within XRP. It's within, Ethereum right here. It's within Bitcoin at 30K. It's within Dogecoin as well. I just want to show you all of these cryptocurrencies, including all these altcoins, that at somewhere or another are retesting its bottom support level. So with Dogecoin, for example, you can see that we did draw an uptrend here. The only issue with the uptrend is the fact that we only had maybe 2 confirmations. This isn't necessarily a third confirmation. It's just more of the potential support level that we're just playing around with. Ultimately, this descending fractal of lower lows and lower highs is the best analysis we have for Dogecoin, and ultimately it being retesting its top resistance here does show signs of another correction back downwards. Notice we've pretty much either consolidated on here and corrected, or just immediately dumped. And you can see, given the time frame of the slow and long-term consolidation, which took about 19 days, you can see it's very similar to where we are currently, which is about 19 days exactly as well. So what I'm looking for is now to finish off this correction by pulling back down to, I would say, 7 cents. So this could be a big short opportunity for Dogecoin. I'm not entirely worried about that because we do have, which is very nice on the innovative area of Bityard, which I've linked in the description, we do have Doge pulled up right here, which opens some major doors for potentially shorting this cryptocurrency back down to the downside. So I am getting very, very, very hyped in regards to Dogecoin's next movement, which could easily correct back down to support levels, back down to our 6 cent support, and ultimately short the market and correct it to the downside. Ultimately, all these cryptocurrencies are currently retesting that. We have XRP, which is currently retesting its bottom support level. You can see prices are bouncing off of that, but we are filling in the gap right now, and there's really not that much time left for this coin to balance out and retest its resistance. So very soon, we're going to be seeing supports and resistances battle out with each other and eventually decide which direction they're going to want to move to. We do have supports clearly drawn at 56 cents. If we close the daily anywhere below that, anticipate a big short. The same thing would apply with Ethereum, which is currently retesting its support level at 1950. As you can see, rejection and resistance at top resistance levels. So you can see with Doge having that resistance currently being retested is another big significant sign of big reversals to the downside. Bitcoin doing the same thing, also retesting its top resistance here. I do believe we are going to pull back down to retest support closer to $28,000. Breaking through 30K would immediately raise red flags as reversals will probably take over and correct us to the downside. Moving forward, that's pretty much covering everything. Everything is showing big signs of finally coming back to closing off its resistance, retesting its top resistance, bottom support, filling in this gap, deciding which direction they want to pump to. Obviously, with any crypto, we do have a little bit of consolidation left, and there's a good chance with these markets, we're probably going to fill in that gap to the last possible minute and then decide which direction these coins want to go to. I mean, that's pretty much where my head's at for cryptocurrency right now. But understand that with this consolidation, this slow movement, this stagnant, slow volume of sideways consolidation, it ultimately will end in some sort of big volume, either rejecting out of the market or getting injected into the market. So be very patient and be very observant, as these cryptocurrencies are going to show signs of a pop Dogecoin being one of those, showing an immediate reversal, which we can obviously use on Bityard. Also, guys, remember to check me out on Discord, as we do have a big group over there with a ton of people getting ready and excited to buy in or sell short, and just talk about their trades outside of YouTube. Otherwise, the S&P 500 looks okay. Once again, re-hitting a top. It makes sense. I'm ready to put more money into the S&P 500. I'm just waiting for the next possible moment to buy back in. And as we've seen in the past here, when prices retest its top resistance, which would be right here, I'll just draw it up. I can't do that. That's lovely. Top resistance right here. You can see also we had one right here. Ultimately, when we retested that top resistance level, you can see it, we eventually corrected back downwards. Same thing happened right here. We retested very close to overbought, corrected back downwards. Same thing I believe is going to apply itself right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another big drop to maybe 4,200 points. That would ultimately be the next buy-in opportunity for us to, swing it long. Otherwise, guys, I do want to talk a little bit more about Go mining. I want to give a huge shout out to Go Mining for sponsoring today's episode. So for those that don't know, Go Mining Token is a unique project which eases most problem miners and investors face, like buying expensive equipment and spending electricity. Technical complexity of mining crypto has created a high barrier to entry by non-professionals and investors. Buying equipment, delivery to a data center, installation, and connection can take up to a year, so the funds invested will be frozen for the most part and an income will not be received. Another difficulty faced by private investors who decide to stop mining is the inability to sell their equipment quickly. In some cases, it is even cheaper to donate it to the data center than to continue paying rent for storage and transportation. Go Mining is a professional mining company founded by international investors back in 2017, and due to its nature, GMT is an investment vehicle itself. Each token is backed by a real, already working unit of power with a project yield, and with an increase in the value of Bitcoin, its growth will proportionally increase. Rush demand associated with the growth of BTC creates a constant shortage in the market of mining equipment, which entails a constant increase in its price. The Go Mining token exchange rate is reacting at an accelerated pace to the increase in the cost of equipment, and due to the presence of already operating equipment and the high liquidity of its turnover, the investment multiplier multiplies the value of the token. So linking to the real indicators of equipment and their value completely protects the token from falling to negative values for the investor, since the value of the token cannot be lower than the cost of the equipment it is backed with. Also, by investing in Go Mining with Go Mining token, there's no longer the need to purchase equipment, maintain it, and invest additional funds, and unlike the equipment, the token is a highly liquid asset. Its sale takes only a few minutes, and at the same time, it is not subject to wear and tear and does not require any additional investments like setting up your own mining rig. By investing in the token, you are investing not only in a growing exchange-traded asset, but at the same time in an asset that brings passive daily income. Such a token structure creates financial support for the investor in case of volatility or provides additional income. The profit is paid out directly to the holder's wallet and from the pool, and accruals are conducted once daily at an estimated time of 00, I guess, based on their own standard time that they have. With each additional emission, they activate the mechanism of burning 20 to 100% of the new tokens, which leads to an increased profitability of the Go Mining token. As a result, the burning and released computing power is redistributed among all the tokens in circulation, increasing the computing power that supplies tokens. Hence, it increases mining income. The amount of burned tokens is calculated by the company's management, depending on the cost of the purchased equipment and the current Go Mining token cost. At the same time, the additional issue between 20% to 100% of the issued tokens will be burnt. So basically, the calculation was made in relation to the volume of additional token emissions, each corresponding to 100,000 terahashes, and the actual amount of additional emissions may change and depends on the current cost of the equipment and the price of Go Mining token on the market. So they burnt only additional issued tokens that pretty much have not yet gone to sale, which belongs to the company, not holders' tokens. So I guess the biggest question most people have is, what is the main difference between Go Mining token and cloud mining? Well, that's a great question, and I want to explain that. So first, with cloud mining, the user is set to mine for a limited time, and if you buy Go Mining tokens, there's no time limit. You can own the token, which is also involved in mining Bitcoin for an unlimited period of time. Second, the supply capacity of the token itself grows, which means every week they burn half of the issued tokens and redistribute the release capacity between other tokens. Not only the token value grows, but Bitcoin income increases daily. Lastly, they are also slowly building a following on their social media platforms, so definitely make sure to give them a follow on Twitter, which is where they post all their updates and news, and also Instagram, which is where they have pictures of their project. They also have a Telegram where you can interact with their community and their support team, which keeps you up to date with fresh information. Otherwise, huge shout out to Go Mining Token for sponsoring today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.